So now we actually get to play the game. This is like the overworld town. This is my house. Currently a shit shack, but as you gain money, you can buy upgrades and extensions to your house. You get pretty bitchin' house at the end of the game. This is a pot that you can break for fun. Whoa, whoa, hello, sir. Hey, Turkley, where are you going? Where? The way to the monster tower is north along this road. We'll go now. I'm sure guys wishing you well too. So our aunt and grandpa were important enough to the story apparently to have character portraits, but not our uncle for some reason. Rather than going straight to the tower, I'm gonna give a quick tour of the town here. These are just random houses that NPCs will occupy later in the game. This is the hospital. This is the monster tamer hut, where you can sell monsters and monsters' eggs and talk to people who go into the tower as well. It's practically useless, as with most of the other vendors. Like this is the blacksmith, who you can sell weapons to and all that kind of jazz, but you can only buy a copper sword and a shitty shield from them. So effectively useless. This is the general store where you can buy all the upgrades for your house. We'll be going there a lot. This is the fortune teller. We might go there a couple times. Fortune teller is really for like the dating sim kind of stuff. Oh, this is the mud pond that everyone congregates around for some reason. This is the restaurant. The only like legit sit-down restaurant in Monsbaiya, complete with the spinning cow head. This is the bar. I don't know why I went in there, but it's okay. You can see it's a bar with a little dance floor. Doodly doodly, yeah, okay. You can go in there and order non-alcoholic beverages, of course. This is the pool. We won't be going there a lot, but you know, it's nice that you can go take a refreshing dip every now and again. This is the rival's house. We'll meet him later. He's kind of an asshat. This is the temple where Gorda lives, or whatever. But anywho, yeah, it's basically the town right now. It'll grow later on as we get money and make improvements. So let's start our adventure. Aren't you a monster tamer? Oh my goodness. Hey, don't be frightened. Incorrect capitalization there. I'm not your enemy. That's very suspicious. Is it because I speak the human language? I'm just smart enough to learn the human language. Are you going in alone? Yeah, duh. I'm pro. You can't take this by yourself right now. You have a magic collar, don't you? I can smell it. Believe it or not, I once used to be a familiar of a great monster tamer. Okay, that's also very suspicious. But my master passed away. Very suspicious. And now I'm a lonely familiar. And people want to have nothing to do with me since I know the human language. Actually, you think that would be a very useful trait. But I can't lower myself to become a monster right now. They just live by instinct. So just learning the human language has taken away your animalistic instincts as a monster? I don't... yeah, I mean, we really don't have a choice. He's our first familiar and he does the tutorial for us, so... Yeah, sure, come on, man. Great. From now on, you are my master. Give me a name. Kuhn is a dumb name. True to form in this game, all the default names are dumb. So we won't be calling him that. Let's see what the suggestions are. Yuddy, Kui, BB, Den, and KSK. Well, won't be going with any of those. Let's do a good strong name, like Sard. Just rolls off the tongue. Yeah, it's a good strong name, I think. Actually, Let's make it a little more cutesy. Because he's a cute little guy. Look at him, flapping around. Sorry. I think my old master gave me that same name. Bullshit. By the way, Mr. Dudley? No, Dudley. Just Dudley. Yes, Master Dudley. You are a beginner, aren't you? Well, no, not really. Okay, really? Okay, I'll teach you in the dirt. Yeah. So now the real adventure begins. And the 15-minute long tutorial. The tutorial is not really great, I'll admit, in this game. It's, rather than, you know, integrating the mechanics slowly, they basically just periodically dump a lot of information on you. Now the adventure begins. Oh, before that, I have to tell you something important. So listen up and remember my words. The only time you can stop the adventure while you're within the tower is when you are in the elevator moving up to the next level. It erases the record at the tower from the adventure data that you... Okay, so that really breaks your immersion. I think they could have told you some other way, other than having a character mention, you know, the logistics of saving your game directly to you, but, you know, that's how most of this tutorial is gonna go. So, yeah. What he just told me to do was check out the lineup. So as you can see, we got a 3x3 area with the main character, Dudley, in the center. And we can tell our familiars where we would like them to be around when they get the option to move. I think I'll have them on my left. Seems like a decent place to be. And we can also change how our familiars react to situations. One is standby, do absolutely nothing, don't even follow me, just sit with your thumb up your butt, do nothing. 2 is follow me, do nothing. 3 is back up with magic. That uses MP. It's a little bit safer for the familiars most of the time though. Attack directly, he's going to get up in the monster's face and help out. And attack aggressively, if he gets even a whiff of a monster, he's going to leave us and go fight directly at him. So I like to keep, I think Sardi is going to be on 4. He's going to be like our backup guy. So currently in our inventory we just have food for a familiar to increase his MP when it gets low. And we just have our familiar. As you can see, I can toggle between my familiar and the hero character like this. Pretty simple game stat-wise. You just have an attack and defense for your main hero. And the same with your familiar, but your familiar also has MP, which you have to keep track of every now and again. Because once they run out of MP, they just fall to the ground and aren't able to move anymore. And they lose MP just by walking around. We can run by pressing the O button. And we have a map to the right hand side of the screen. Shows us where we've been. All that stuff. Red's familiars, yellow's me. Green squares. The green square is an elevator. The green squares, light green squares, is where we've been already. And I can rotate myself by holding triangle. With that, and that doesn't use a turn. If you haven't noticed, this is like other roguelites where it's actually a turn-based behind the scenes, but everything moves at once when you're not actually in battle. And we just picked up a magic ball. Magic balls have charges, which we won't know how many charges are actually on the fireball until we actually use it. It's another staple of these roguelike games is you don't really know much about the item until you use it in the tower or you wait until you leave the tower. Just picked up a shitty sword. Got it equipped it to use it, obviously. Copper sword. We can start actually doing some damage now. Okay. You can lift objects without actually using your turn up, which is what Sardi is explaining to me right now. So I can get right next to this, hold O, press X, pick it up, have hand, put in my inventory, which would have done the same thing as me just walking over it and picking it up. That would have used the same number of turns. But anywho, if you want to pick something up that's 1 square away, in some situations you might want to do that. And now Sardi is explaining how I can rotate the camera. Whoa! L1 and R1. So now we got our first shield, a shitty wood shield. I keep doing that. Every time I pick up that shield, I think there's going to be another tutorial dialogue blurb, and I press X to go through it more quickly, and then he doesn't say anything. And here's our first monster egg. Whoa! Khaki egg. So, yeah, to hatch a familiar from an egg, select an egg and heat up it. Each time you press X button, it is incubated. And once it gets warmed up completely, a familiar will be born. So yeah, if you hatch them at home, you get to keep the familiar because it likes, you know, that's where it was born, that's where it feels at home. If you hatch them in the tower, they will be the same level as appropriate for that floor in the tower, but you don't get to keep the familiar. So typically you want to, if you want to keep the familiar, hatch it at home. And now Sardi is explaining to me all about the different types of magic. Very simple. It's like a rock, paper, scissors kind of thing. You got fire, water, wind. Fire beats wind, wind beats water, water beats fire. So, and now Sardi is explaining uses of the command function and AI and stuff like that, which I've kind of already gone over. I'm kind of breezing through the tutorial because first time I recorded this, I read out everything Sard said, and it took like half an hour, so okay, so that's our first enemy. Now, as Sardi just got done explaining, when you're on a higher plane, you do more damage. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna sit here and we're gonna make sure that Sardi doesn't screw up by moving. Make him wait one more turn. Oop, that's not what I wanted. Command, stay. There you go. And now we're in the perfect position to do maximum damage with both me and the familiar in range to attack. See, pretty easy. Palumpas are definitely not the most difficult monsters in the game, so that's why they throw you one real easily, real early in the game. And you can also sacrifice your turn for gaining health by pressing triangle and O at the same time. If you just hold it down for a long period of time, it gives up multiple turns and you can gain health back that way. These purple things are traps, which probably one of the bitchiest features in the game. You'll just be walking around and then having a good time, and then your shit gets wrecked by a random trap. Maybe it causes confusion, maybe it rusts your weapons. But yeah, this one's already been activated. But that'll probably be one of the more interesting parts of playing this game, is you'll just be walking around and have your day destroyed. And for the last element here, Sardi is explaining that if he runs out of MP, he's not going to be able to move. And like me, his HP will go back up over time, but his MP won't. So I have to give him food in order to, you know, not sit like a knot on a log. You can also, as you just saw, press triangle to sort your inventory. This is the elevator. I'm gonna go up to the next floor.